Hi, Tiffany. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How has your week been?
Well, my mom and I got in an argument and we said some pretty nasty things to each other.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down a few of the issues that you've had this past week so that we can keep track of what we're doing so that we can focus on what it is that you want to discuss today. So, you said that your mom and you got into an argument and you all said some pretty nasty things?
Yes.
Okay. And what else happened?
I got a speeding ticket.
Oh.
And I'm failing geometry.
Oh, man. So, you're failing geometry and a speeding ticket. Was that the first speeding ticket you ever had?
Yes.
Goodness. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to address today to put on our agenda?
Well, my boyfriend's mad at me because I complain about my mom all the time.
Oh, okay. So, your boyfriend and you have a kind of a tense relationship because of everything going on?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, when we talked last week, we talked about the agenda and the importance of putting on there things that we wanted to address. And I had given you some homework because we had discussed some problems that you were having with Mom. And you had wanted to address that. And I had given you a homework assignment called a thought record, where you were going to keep record of what event or situation that happened that caused some worry and some anxiety and depression, and then kind of tell me how you felt, what you thought, and you were going to keep record of that. Did you have a chance to get that done?
Yes.
Okay. How was it? Was it easy, hard? Did you find it helpful, or?
I had a hard time.
Okay, so it was kind of difficult?
Yes.
What exactly was difficult about doing this assignment?
Just taking the time to write it down and see it replay in my mind over and over again.
Okay, so you just having to look at it and review over it again just kind of made you relive the situation and think about it?
Yes.
Okay, I can imagine how hard several of those things were. Do you mind to share with me a little bit about what you had on your list?
Yeah.
So what was the first event or situation?
I came in late after my curfew, but only by a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what were you feeling?
I was worried and nervous.
Okay. And what was kind of going through your mind? What was you thinking?
Well, that I was going to get yelled at and get into a lot of trouble.
Okay. Okay. And what did you have another event on there?
Yeah, my speeding ticket.
So you did write about your speeding ticket?
Yes.
Okay. I could only imagine the emotion that you were feeling. So tell me what was kind of your reaction, your feeling to that?
I was scared, mad, and upset.
I bet. Did you end up getting a ticket?
Yes.
Goodness. So what were you thinking about that?
That my parents were going to kill me and maybe I could never drive again.
Okay. So when you ended up getting that, I guarantee that you were full of emotion and just seeing how those feelings lead to those thoughts, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I could only imagine, just taking that time to write it down, but we have discussed in our process of cognitive behavior therapy about understanding and recording those negative automatic thoughts that you did this past week. And that's one of the first steps in changing our negative way of thinking. Because it doesn't always have to be that bad every time. Right?
Right.
All right. So, if you don't mind, after you did that, could you just kind of tell me overall how you felt about that activity? Did you find it helpful?
Yes.
Okay, and the overall feeling that you got from it was that, how did you feel about with your mom?
She's always mad at me because I can't do anything right.
Okay, so you got from that mom is always mad because, why?
I can't seem to do anything right for her.
Okay, and that's how you feel?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, using that idea that she is always mad because you can't seem to do anything right. So using that as that main thought, what does that mean if that were true? What does that mean? What would you all do all the time?
Fight.
Okay. So that would mean that's the reason why mom is always mad, because you fight.
Because I can't do anything right.
Okay. All right. And so if that were true, because mom is always mad at you because you fight all the time, what does that mean about you?
That I'm a failure.
Okay. So let me make sure that I understand this. So you're saying that I'm a failure because I fight with my mom.
Yep.
All the time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, if you don't mind, I would like for us to do a little experiment, if you don't mind. Would that be okay?
Yes, if you think it'll help.
Okay. If we could use that, since you had listed on our agenda that one of the things that occurred this week is that you and her got into an argument, and it was pretty heated, and some things were said because you really felt like she's kind of on your case all the time. So I would like to kind of check out that belief and see if that belief is true, the evidence that makes that belief true, and then see if we can find some evidence that makes that belief untrue. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll kind of do that in a chart, and I'll write this down for us, and we can have that discussion. Okay? So so your belief, using that as that belief, I'm a failure because I fight with my mom all the time. How do you feel? What if you could rate that from 0 to 100? 0 being that that's not true at all, and 100% being that that's always true. How strongly do you feel about that belief? What percent do you feel that you're a failure?
100%, because all we do is fight.
Okay, so you would rate that at 100% right now.
Yes.
Okay, alrighty. So let's look at what is the evidence that supports that you're a failure. What is something that has been done or that has happened that has made you believe that you are a failure?
Well, I'm failing geometry.
Okay, so you're failing geometry. And are you failing any other classes?
No.
All right. How many classes do you take?
6.
So you would you say that you are a failure because you're failing one class, right?
Yes.
And some evidence that goes against you being a failure, you're passing 6 though, correct?
Yes.
So we can write that down as that really doesn't support that belief of being a failure, because a failure doesn't pass 6 classes, correct?
Correct. And 2 of the classes are AP classes.
Great. We can add that down too. So 6 classes Miss Tiffany is passing, and she's taking 2 AP classes, and those are a little bit more difficult, correct?
Yes.
All right. So that says a lot about you not failing at everything. Can you give me something else that would support the belief that you are a failure because you fight with mom all the time?
I'm always late.
Okay. You're always late. Now, are you, think about that. Are you late always?
Seems like it.
Were you on time for our appointment today?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Can you think of another instance when you are on time? Are you late to school?
No, I'm on time for my classes.
Okay.
And I don't have any tardies.
Okay. So you were on time for our appointment. And not late to school. And no tardies. So we can put those all down on evidence that doesn't support that you're a failure. Okay, do you have any other ones?
I'm always fighting with my mom.
Okay. Always fighting with my mom. And that makes you a failure.
Yes.
Okay. Did you all fight every day last week?
Maybe 2 or 3.
So maybe 2 or 3 times that you fought with mom?
Yes.
Okay. So how many days are in a week?
5.
That you really see mom? And so if you fought 2 or 3 times, were there other days that you didn't fight?
Yeah.
Okay. So there were, instead of always fighting with mom, what about fighting 2 or 3 times? Could we change that to add 2 or 3 times just to clarify? And you said that there were maybe 1 or 2 more days, plus we have the weekend. So there's 3 or 4 days maybe that you didn't fight with mom, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you would say that you're a failure because you're failing geometry, you're always late, and that you fight with mom about 2 or 3 times a week. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we have some of the reasons listed that you're not a failure because you're passing 6 classes. 2 of those classes are AP classes. You're on time for your appointment today. You're not late to school and you have no tardies. You go 3 or 4 days without fighting with mom. Correct?
Yes.
So those were the reasons that you had come up with that show that you're not a failure. Correct?
Yes.
So if looking at this list that we just completed right here, what do you notice about this list? You have 3 reasons why you say you're a failure. And over here, we have 6 reasons why you're not. So if I asked you to look at that belief again about I am a failure because I fight with my mom all the time, what would